Welcome to this explainer. Today we're taking a super fascinating look at a deeply contrarian guide to navigating modern pressures. It's all based on a text by a writer named Shefong, who decided to just sit down and share his most profound, unvarnished advice with young people. If you've ever felt, completely overwhelmed by the endless hustle, the intense pressure to network, or just the constant deafening noise of social media, well, the insights we're unpacking today might literally flip your entire worldview upside down. Okay, let's dive into this.
Just think for a second about what it really means to observe the world for over 6 decades. Xu Feng isn't just tossing out a few quick life hacks here, he's distilling a literal lifetime of observation. That's 60 years of watching the seasons change and watching human behavior shift right along with them. He's speaking directly to you, the modern individual just trying to figure it all out, offering this kind of mentorship that cuts right through the chaotic noise of today's fast-paced society.
To get to the core of this wisdom, we're going to follow 6 distinct steps. We'll look at the true purpose of life, gemstones versus cobblestones, rethinking forced relationships, surviving our impetuous era, the 3 major wealths, and finally, independence and filial piety. Section 1. The true purpose of life, perceiving and experiencing.
Yeah, the modern world is constantly pushing us toward material accumulation, right? More stuff, bigger houses. But Xu Feng offers a totally different definition. He argues that life is entirely about the perception and experience of the human world. And this brilliantly illustrates how the richer your experiences are, whether that's love, friendship, connecting with nature, or honestly even facing frustration, the deeper your understanding becomes. But look at what he says to avoid. Vanity, chasing trends, buying real estate just to show off. If you make material abundance your primary focus, you're heading straight towards spiritual decadence. True life is found in the depth of your experience, not in the sheer volume of what you own.
So naturally, you might be wondering, how do we actually deepen those experiences? Well, through learning. But Xu Feng is really specific here. Your learning should be completely focused on practical, genuine wisdom. We're talking about science, how to behave, how to actually enhance your life's practical value. It's definitely not about seeking fame, and he strongly advises against looking for shortcuts through metaphysics, supernatural powers, or magical abilities. Real learning is about improving the day-to-day quality of your life, not acquiring some mysterious power to show off or just trying to make a quick buck.
Section 2. Gemstones versus cobblestones, a guiding metaphor.
Now, what's really interesting here is how we can look down at the stones beneath our feet to truly understand this. Notice the stark difference in intrinsic value. Xu Feng asks us to compare precious stones, your diamonds, emeralds, and sapphires, with rough pebbles and cobblestones. Precious stones are embedded in sacred, beautiful places. Cobblestones? They're laid under people's feet specifically to be walked on. The idea here is that if you act like a human gemstone, people will naturally chase after you. But if you allow yourself to just be a common pebble, people will abandon you. We have to do the hard work of polishing ourselves rather than remaining a rough stone.
This all boils down to what he calls the quality of life. Let's slow down for a second, because this is absolutely profound. Polishing your personal gemstone isn't just about getting people to like you. It is the ultimate key to true freedom. A pure quality of life allows you to live freely and perfectly. On the flip side, a low, unpolished quality literally traps you in a world of control, chaos, and dilapidation. You basically become that cobblestone trapped under the feet of society.
Section 3. Rethinking forced relationships. Let go of networking.
Keeping that gemstone metaphor firmly in mind, it's time to rethink human connections in a world that is frankly obsessed with networking. I absolutely love this quote. True confidants will appear on your road to strive forward instead of in the relationships you maintained by racking your brains. Think about that. If you are that precious gemstone we just talked about, you really won't need to deliberately and exhaustingly establish connections. The right people will naturally see your inherent value and they will chase you.
It really begs a massive question that totally challenges the modern hustle. Why are you spending so much of your precious time and energy racking your brains over forced connections? Xu Feng points out that forcing relationships carries a wildly high cost with a very low reward. Ultimately, as people just naturally go their separate ways, those forced ties are going to break anyway. So stop forcing it. Work on becoming the gemstone, and let those predestined meaningful relationships come to you naturally.
Section 4. Surviving our impetuous era. Navigating the noise.
Okay, we have to talk about the chaotic environment we're all trying to survive in right now. Xu Feng calls it an impetuous era, absolutely full of noise. Prepare yourself for this number. Based on his observation and analysis, 95% of the content on the internet, including social media, is absolute rubbish. 95%. We are living in an era defined by impetuous people, impetuous markets, and just a wildly impetuous society.
So the crucial point is this. If you're spending your precious time and energy scrolling through that 95% of social media noise, you are dealing directly with rubbish. And over time, well, congratulations, you become nothing more than a garbage collector. The alternative? Calming down. We absolutely must step away from these bubbles that could burst at literally any moment and instead study the things that will actually last longer.
Section 5. The Three Major Wealths. A New Hierarchy.
Now, if we aren't chasing internet cloud or real estate, what exactly are we chasing? Well, let's move to and see how this builds, because here is the exact opposite of what society teaches us. When you're young, Xu Feng advises this very specific order of operations. Step 1. Pursue soul wealth. Only then, Step 2. Pursue spiritual wealth. And lastly, way at the very end, Step 3. Pursue material wealth.
But here is the super fascinating caveat about that third step, material wealth. Before you even think about money or assets, you have to realize that your physical body is your very first material wealth. If you have a healthy body, you already have material wealth, and protecting it requires strict, orderly care. Don't stay up late, do not smoke, avoid drugs and alcohol, and don't just eat to indiscriminately satisfy your appetite. You have to eat in an orderly manner. Your body is quite literally the vessel that allows you to experience the world, so protect it.
Section 6. Independence and filial piety. Your first priority.
Now let's ground all of this lofty philosophy into our day-to-day lives, specifically focusing on our roots. Xu Feng states that your first priority in life is to honor your parents, but notice how incredibly practical this is. True filial piety isn't necessarily about getting rich so you can buy them a giant mansion or luxury goods. It's actually much more fundamental. It simply means removing the heavy burden of your survival from their shoulders. Do not let them worry about you, rush about, or overwork themselves just to provide for you. The source delivers a really stark reality check right here. It bluntly states, after you turn 18, you must walk on your own. You are a human, not a pig waiting at a trough to be constantly fed. Your parents raised you to adulthood, and now it is entirely your turn to rely on yourself. By simply taking responsibility for your own survival, you remove guilt from your heart, and in the eyes of heaven, you become a reasonable person, someone truly worthy of blessing.
If you're looking for a practical next step to help you actually calm down and avoid all that impetuous noise of our era, Xu Feng highly recommends a book he compiled called Treasures of Classical Advice. It's basically a curated collection of the essence and wisdom of human sages, designed specifically for those of us who really want to study things that actually last.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final, genuinely provocative thought. Look closely at your daily habits, your goals, and the information you consume every single day. Are you actively doing the hard, deeply rewarding work of polishing your internal gemstone? Or are you getting swept up in the impetuous noise, exhausting yourself forcing connections and just collecting rubbish? The choice of how to experience this beautiful, incredibly complex human world is entirely yours. Keep learning, keep reflecting, and we'll see you in the next explainer.